Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this webinar on this fine summer day in August, Simplifying PLM with Customizable Apps. My name is Rob Romanowski with 3HTI, and with me today is Applications Engineer from PTC, Nick Samardzija. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at a roll of applications for PLM from a product called Navigate. So while we go through the webinar, everybody's going to be on mute. And if you have any questions, feel free to type those into the dashboard and we will either answer them as we go or we will answer all questions at the end of the session. So a little bit about 3HTI for those of you who may not be familiar with us. We are a systems integrator with a focus on helping discrete manufacturing companies in all phases of product development from design through manufacturing. And this includes analysis and the end of life cycle of a product. And our goal is to help our partners operate more efficiently and effectively, improve their profits, and overall, we want to see them become leaders within their respective industries. Now, the software and 3D printing solutions that we provide to our customers help with the digital transformation, which means basically taking ideas and concepts and transforming them into a digital file that can be used for various purposes, whether it's augmented reality, 3D printing, analysis, or any other way that a part or an assembly can be shared with others inside and outside of the enterprise, as well as seeing that part or assembly in a real-world environment. So now it's going to bring us up to today's topic, PLM, simplifying PLM with PTC Navigate. So product lifecycle management can be very intimidating to anyone and probably everyone. However, when you're using the right PLM tools, they will help your product development process tremendously. They will streamline your process. They will help organize your intellectual property a lot more effectively. Your engineers will be working on the most up-to-date parts and assemblies as opposed to outdated models. They won't need to recreate new parts because they can't find one. Basically, product lifecycle management will manage your process and your files in a very effective way. We feel at 3HTI that Windchill is the gold standard when it comes to product lifecycle management. Windchill is the only PLM system that will manage any CAD system. So if there's other companies that have a PLM system, they can only manage their own CAD system, but they do not manage CAD systems that run on a different engine or outside of that particular company's solution. So it's pretty tremendous that Windchill is the only solution that does that. And even a company like Airbus, which is a French-based company that is probably the top partner for customer for Dassault Systems, uses Windchill. I think that's pretty telling about how powerful Windchill is. The other thing is for 3HTI, our technical team is absolutely the best at deploying and installing Windchill, bar none. These guys go above and beyond to make sure that our customers' intellectual property is organized and protected properly within the customized processes that we're setting up for them. Now, the key to a successful PLM strategy is not overloading unnecessary information to people that are in specific roles that don't need to be in the loop every single day. These might be people in purchasing. These might be people with whatever specified role or function within the enterprise. They just need to see the data. They might not even need to comment on it, or maybe they do. But either way, what Navigate does is it sets up customizable applications so that their collaboration is a lot easier and they're only going to see the information that they need to see. So they're not going to be overloaded with information. It's going to help them be more effective and make the overall process more effective. So with that introduction, I am going to turn everything over to Nick now so he can give a little more detailed overview of Navigate and a quick presentation. So Nick, you have the con.
All right, thank you for that introduction. Are you seeing my screen, Rob? Is it
I
the
am.
PowerPoint? All right. All right, thank you for the introduction, Rob. Like Rob said, my name is Nick Samarja. I'm a virtual pre-sales engineer here at PTC. And today we're going to be talking about Navigate and how you can leverage that within your enterprise and use it to its potential. So what I have prepared for you guys today is a few PowerPoint slides. Am I good? It told me I was muted.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, sorry about that. And highlighting some of the capabilities within Navigate and some of the challenges we see today among the enterprise and going through that. So what PTC Navigate is, it's a suite of role-based applications that enable all stakeholders within an enterprise to come in and leverage these big, heavy systems such as Windchill and be able to pull information from them and use it in their organization and make decisions on a day-to-day basis. So without further ado, let's jump into some challenges that we see inside of the enterprise this current time. So as you see here up at the top right, we have all of these different roles within a company. We have everything from marketing and sales, management, engineering, quality, and really to run an efficient business, we need all of these organizations working with each other and using information from each other. And currently that's a little bit difficult because having all these disparate applications, disparate systems, it makes it tough for a marketing person to have sign-in abilities and equality, et cetera. So that's where Navigate comes in and makes this information available to the fingertips of a marketing person, for example. So going further with the challenges, currently the PLM interface is not optimized for any one particular role. We come in there, PLM is a very big system that has a lot of capabilities, and customizing it to one particular role might be difficult. And what we call lightweight users or casual users who might be coming into a system like Windchill that's so big can sometimes forget proper use. And what that really leads to is a lot of rework, delays, increased cost, and poor quality. And we always want to avoid those things. And customizing that PLM interface to help those certain roles or those lightweight users can be costly to maintain and customize. So our solution, I've already said, PTC Navigate. Again, to reiterate, it's a suite of role-based applications that allow all these different stakeholders to come in a very quick and intuitive way, pull in the information they need without making any errors or rework in the run. So going with some capabilities further. So Windchill is really designed to be a very easy to use tool. It implements very easy searching ability, navigation ability, filtering, and viewing, has a modern scalable user experience. So the idea here is to make it something that we're used to seeing every day, such as a mobile device, our smartphones, having these applications that we click with the touch of a button, and we have all of our information there displayed in front of us, exactly what we need. It has interoperability layer for all other applications, so it's highly integrated, and it has a seamless integration from all these multiple systems. Not only Windchill, you can leverage other systems as well, and I will get into that in a few slides. Going through some of the other capabilities, here you see all the out-of-the-box applications that come with Navigate. You see on the left-hand side there's 8 different applications. 7 of them highly leverage Windchill. One of them leverages our engineering requirements tool, which is PTC Integrity. And you can see some of the ones that are listed there, such as View Document App, View Drawing, Part Properties, etc. And of course, we'll be going through all of those inside the actual software. So if we take notice on the figure to the right here, this is really a high level of what Navigate is all about. If you take a look here in the blue, these are all of our PTC systems that we can leverage using Navigate. The main one that we're going to be focusing on today, and the purpose of this webinar, is going to be the PLM, our Windchill system, and then that one application that uses our ALM tool, Integrity. And if you see here, this is where Navigate sits. And that Navigate sits at the top, and everything is powered by ThingWorx. What ThingWorx is, it's a rapid application development platform that really makes all this possible, and that makes a seamless integration from system to Navigate possible. And finally, you also have your non-PTC systems, such as your ERP systems, your Oracles or SAPs, and you can leverage that using ThingWorx, propagate all the information into Navigate, and have all of your information, all of your ERP information available to any person you want that information available to. Going further, we can utilize data from many different sources. Those can be either cloud solutions, on site, or even software as a service. And the really nice and compelling thing about Navigate is that it's very quickly done to deploy and tailor these apps, so you can upgrade and replace backend systems without much impact, present data to specific user roles. I will tell you what that means once we get into the demonstration. And we consider this a very extensible and robust system. Finally, let's look at some value that we can generate from this. You can efficiently use your collected data, so you have all of this information stored inside Windchill, and using Navigate, you can get to this information much quicker, not having some of that downtime looking for this information, and you can use that a lot more efficiently. Easily deploy and adopt, very simple to do. Involve all your different stakeholders. You're going to have all of these different users for different parts of the system. So if we're in there as an administrator, we're going to have different access rights than if we're only in there as a manufacturer or a guy on the shop floor that may only want to be able to look at one app, and I'll get into that once we get into the demonstration. And finally, the goal here is to reduce errors and costs, and that's overall the general goal into most things we do. So that's it for the PowerPoint. Let's jump into the actual software. So this is the user interface of PTC Navigate. This is what the home page looks like. As you can see, it's something that we're pretty used to seeing every day. It's these blue tiles, they're what we call applications, apps, that we can just click on really easily and get right into the information. Before I get going though, I do want to highlight that we are signing under WC Admin, also known as Windchill Admin, which gives us the ability to have access to all of these different applications. And using this pencil, we can also tailor all of these different applications as well, according to how we want them to look or how we want our needs to be. So if I was signed in under Dave, the design engineer, for example, Dave may only have the ability to look at 3 of these applications that are pertinent to his day-to-day activities. Or if I was in procurement or marketing, I may only have the ability to take a look at this application here. And of course, the administrator sets all of those access rights and all of those viewing abilities. So the first application we're going to look at today is the View Document app. So this is a simple yet very powerful application because as it says, it pulls in documents for us to be able to view, download, and make any kind of decisions we need to based off of them. So what we see populated here are some recent search results for our documentation. We can see we have some PDFs here, as well as some load calculations. We can also use the search bar up here to search for our document. Much like in Windchill, you can search via document number or name. However, within Navigate, you don't have to use wildcards, which are those asterisks that you would put in front of or behind numbers to do your searches. So if we were to search 88, for example, we can see that it pulls in 3 different documents, all that have 2 8s in them inside of the number. We can also search for part of the document name, such as calc. And we can see that it pulls in the CALC right here for calculations, and same for the calculator right here. Very simple to use. We open up the document itself. We have the ability to open it in its native content. And if we hit the link, it's going to prompt us to open it in Microsoft Word. And that will pull it open in a separate window here. And we have our document right there. Very quick and easy to do. The next application we want to take a look at is the one that leverages PTC Integrity, that ALM software tool, which is View Requirements. So what this application does, and it pulls in documents for our engineering requirements. So if I search for one of our engineering requirements, we get the entire document pulled in right here. And if you take a look here on the left, we can see there's a hierarchy of sections we can rifle through just by clicking on them. We can go to subsections, higher sections, etc. And this application actually implements a index search. So if I were to search for a word such as display, for example, I can come in here and be able to search any keyword that I may be interested in taking a look at. So I search display there, and as you can see, it pulled in 4 separate sections that have the word display in there, and we can quickly rifle down to that information depending on what we want to see. Using this eye here, we can click on it and generate some more information that may be pertinent to our day-to-day basis, such as when it was created, who was created by, the author, modified date, etc. And we can also tailor this to show maybe 1 or 2 of these or all of them like we have here for this demonstration. The next application we want to take a look at is the view design files. So if I hit the view design files application, it's again going to pull in our recent results. Up here, we have the ability to search for all of our different assembly files, part files, anything we need to look at. Same way as we did with the view document, we can search via part number or part name. So the one we're going to be taking a look at today is this front wheel assembly right here. So if I open up my front wheel assembly and I'm somebody who is in charge of sending this off to suppliers, I can quickly come in here, take our neutral files, our IGES or step files, click on them. We can download them right to our desktop, save them, send them off in an email, do what we need to do with them, or we can open it up into Creo View as well. But we're going to be doing that here shortly, so I won't do it multiple times. Next one we can do, that's our next application, is a view drawing application. So if we click on it, we can open this up from Creo View directly. Let that load up. Opens this up in Creo View. So now we have our drawing right at our fingertips, a few clicks of a button, and we have it right there in front of us, and we can do what we need to do with our drawings. Next one leverages our lightweight CAD files, also known as the PVZ file, product view zip file. So if I hit on the application there, it's going to open up Creo View in a separate browser. I can now load this front wheel assembly in. And what's nice and compelling about this application is now we have the ability to interrogate it. We can move it around. We can click on certain parts. So if I wasn't sure what this hydraulic was called, I can come in here, hit the shock, excuse me, not the hydraulic, hit the shock, and it'll be highlighted into our bill of materials here on the left, and we can see the part number. Perhaps I was a guy on the manufacturer floor and wanted to know the part number of this pin right here. I'd come in here, click on the pin, and now we know exactly what part number or what part name it is as well. Okay, we can also do certain markups in the Creo View. So if I go to the markup page and I want to grab the diameter of this front wheel assembly, I can quickly do that, generate a diameter, save that annotation. Maybe I want the summary of it. So I come in here, click the summary, and now I have the entire summary of this front wheel assembly. Another thing I do is I can add annotations such as notes. So if I add a note here, it's going to pull in our annotation properties, and this is a newer feature. Now I can insert attributes that are propagating from Windchill. So if I scroll down here, I'm going to look for life cycle state. And as you can see, there's quite a number of different options we could choose from. We're going to choose life cycle state, insert the name, insert the value, close it out. And if we want to format this so it can look a little bit more vibrant and draw more attention to it, make the letters red, make the background white, hit OK, and now we have our life cycle state. We see the name of it, and we see that this is currently still in work. Okay. Next thing we want to look at is the view properties. So right here we can propagate properties from Windchill. So this application of view part properties, we click on it here, and just for demo purposes, the only attributes we have available here today are such as last modified and last created. And of course, you can make this page as sophisticated as you want, depending on what you have housed within Windchill. The next application is going to be to view the part structure. So if we come in here, it's going to load in our viewable on the left. Much like the capabilities within Creo View, I can click on certain parts and they will be cross-highlighted into our part structure here. So this is similar to what you would see in your bill of materials. So you have your top level front wheel assembly, your child part underneath it, the front suspension assembly, and further going down to the child parts, we can expand all of these structures and rifle through them. And again, if I click on certain sections here, they will get cross-highlighted into our viewable, and we have the ability to open those parts themselves into their own separate applications by hitting on this hyperlink here. So if I go down to the anti-lock braking system, I can click on the braking system itself, and it will take me to its own part structure. And again, same capabilities. We have our parent to child references, and we can jump through the bill of materials here. We also have our parts list. So we're gonna let the parts list load up here. Okay, so now we have all of our different parts here. We have the names of the parts, the numbers of the parts, what version they're in. A lot of companies want to know what version they're in, what life cycle states, and whether it's in work, released, quantity, the unit, who was modified by, when it was last modified. We can also link the drawing up to it. So if I were to hit this link, it would open up this drawing into Creo View, and we can make whatever decisions we need to do based on that. Last application I want to look at is this green one right here, the application development kit. So this is what allows you to build your own custom applications. So the blue ones we already went through, those are out of the box applications, and those are tailorable, but this one is highly customizable. So what we have here is just a mock application that we made for a company called Gallus, which doesn't exist. And what we call this here is a mashup. So your software people, your engineers can come in here and build their own app based on how they want it to look. So right here, again, we have this viewable right here where we can move it around, click on parts, have them cross highlighted. If I go to the break assembly here, we can see that we can now associate CAD documents to this entire page here. So I can click on the CAD document here, open it in its native structure. I can open it into Creo View as well. Now, if this is going through any changes, we can also propagate changes into this application as well. So we see here for this break assembly, we have both a change request and change notice, and we can link that directly to Windchill. So if I were to click on this link, it will open it up right to that change request within Windchill. And here, depending on what role we are, if we're a change admin, we can come in here and make all the certain business decisions that we can do to further propagate this change request down the workflow and perhaps make it a change notice or perhaps implement these changes. Next one we want to look at is the related documents here. So we have technical specifications document. So if we were to open this up, it will bring up the technical specifications for this brake assembly. And finally, we want to show how we can leverage ERP systems. So with this ADK, like I was talking about in the PowerPoint, ThingWorx makes it possible to seamlessly integrate systems of enterprise. So it's not just Windchill. We can leverage Oracle, SAP, any other legacy systems that we're interested in using ThingWorx. We can propagate the information on through here into our application and have the information readily available for us, especially if we don't have seats to an ERP system. We can come in here and gather that information without being in Oracle or SAP every day and being a heavy user of both those systems. All right, so that's basically Navigate in a nutshell. Just to reiterate, it's a suite of role-based applications that enable any and all stakeholders to come in here, leverage big systems such as Windchill or your ERP systems or any legacy systems that we're trying to take a view at.
Excellent.
At this time, yeah, if we have any questions, I'd be happy to address them.
Excellent. I'm gonna switch and show my screen real quick as we get ready to close out the webinar. So Nick, nice job, nice overview, nice demonstration. If anybody wants to have a more customized demonstration or a more in-depth talk about Creo Navigate or even Windchill specific to your product development needs, contact us. We're more than happy to give you a more customized demo and spend some time with you to help implement a proper PLM process or how to properly implement PTC Navigate into your Windchill system. So you can contact us at info@3hti.com very simply and easily, or give us a call toll free 866-624-3HTI. So that's going to conclude our webinar for today. Nick, thanks a lot for your time, and most importantly, thank you to our audience for taking some time today to join us and learn a little bit more about how to operate a little more efficiently. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the afternoon.
Thanks, Rob.